Rediscover your past by digitizing your family's memories with Legacy Box. Watch until the end of this video to find out more about preserving your legacy, and then visit legacybox.com/recollection. If a young person today were to see any of these objects, they would literally have no idea what they were. Which is funny, because all of these were so common and essential to life just a few decades ago. So let's take a look back at things that are unrecognizable to the new generation. Remember the magic of holding a Viewmaster up to your eyes, eagerly clicking the lever to reveal each new scene in 3D. The joy of swapping out the circular reels to view different images added a simple but entertaining moment that is lost in today's digital instant gratification world. Kids today may never know the thrill of flipping through a stack of reels, inserting them into the slot, and enjoying the magic that was the Viewmaster. Placing a 45 record on a turntable, then carefully setting the tiny adapter in the center was just second nature. The adapter was a small but essential piece that allowed the music to flow, bridging the gap between the record and the player. Although record players have made somewhat of a comeback with newer generations, the newer albums are mostly released as LPs, so there's no need for an adapter. At least we still have the crackle of the needle finding the groove, and the charm of listening to vinyl. Something that digital music lacks. The rotary dial telephone was the gateway to the outside world, but this device demanded patience as you carefully turned the rotary dial for each number, listening to the satisfying click-click as it spun back. It was a deliberate act, one that made making a phone call take much longer. Also, the phone cord kept you in one spot, often leading to long conversations in the kitchen or the living room. In a world now dominated by texting, the slow, measured process of making a phone call on a rotary phone just feels like a relic from the past. Rolling down a car window with a crank was an experience in itself. Another small exercise in patience, and sometimes muscle. Some windows went down smooth, while others you had to wrestle with. But eventually the window gradually lowered to let in a breeze. This connected you to the car in a way that power windows simply don't. Each window required its own effort, each passenger responsible for their own little crank. Today everything is automatic and can be controlled by the driver with a click of a button. But there was a time when cars used to be less about convenience and more about the journey. Remember the little black film canisters that came with rolls of film? You'd carry extra rolls just in case you needed more film, and then find extra uses for the empty canisters. Camera film was an important part of our lives, and the skill of loading a camera with film was something that we grew up doing. Not to mention, we had to drop the rolls of film off to get them developed. So we had lots of those tiny black canisters around the house at any given time. At Recollection Road, I believe preserving the past is incredibly important, and our friends at Legacy Box do too. So much so, they've offered my viewers a code for 55% off. In today's digital age, analog media like VHS tapes and film reels are fading, risking the loss of cherished memories due to things like mold, dust, and time. But Legacy Box, trusted by over 1.5 million families, offers a simple and safe solution to protect your memories before it's too late. With Legacy Box, you can convert your analog treasures into digital memories effortlessly. Send your VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, and pictures to Legacy Box, and like magic, receive back your originals and digital copies for easy enjoyment, sharing, and organization. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, enjoy an exclusive 55% discount at legacybox.com/recollection. Don't let your memories fade. Preserve your past today with Legacy Box. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer and send them in whenever you're ready. Go to legacybox.com/recollection to save 55% while supplies last. The overhead projector used to be something found in every classroom. Teachers would place a transparency sheet on the glass, and suddenly, notes and diagrams were projected large for everyone to see. From taking notes to solving math problems. This piece of equipment helped the teacher guide us through each class. There was always some adjusting of the focus manually, the occasional times the transparency would slip slightly out of place, and then the need to clean the transparencies afterwards. Today's kids are accustomed to smartboards that are connected to the internet, so they have no understanding of the imperfect yet engaging classrooms that used to exist. The sound of a dial-up modem connecting was the soundtrack of early internet days. It signaled you were about to venture onto the World Wide Web. It was a slow and noisy process, one that involved your phone line, so it meant you couldn't make or receive calls while you were online. Luckily, time spent on the internet back then was much less, and the information you saw was usually curated by the internet provider, think AOL, and the friendly voice telling you you've got mail. Today's kids who've grown up with high-speed, always-on internet might never know the excitement and sometimes frustration of waiting for the internet to connect. Before remote controls and digital menus, changing the channel on a TV meant getting up, walking over, and turning the dial. Each click of the knob moved you through the handful of available channels, sometimes requiring fine-tuning with a separate dial to get a clear picture. It was definitely a more hands-on experience, one that made you think twice before flipping channels. The heavy, boxy television sets of that era were often a central piece of furniture in the living room, their presence as substantial as the effort it took to operate them. Today's flat screens and streaming services have replaced that physical connection to watching TV, leaving only the memories of those clunky knob clicks and fuzzy pictures to the ones that lived it. If you stuck around this long, don't worry, there's still more. But I wanted to let you know that we have some retro merchandise available too. Just click the link in the description to head over to the store. Polaroid cameras were instant gratification in the days before smartphones. You'd snap a picture, and within moments, the print would slide out, slowly developing before your eyes. There was something magical about watching the image appear, shaking the photo, eager to see how it turned out. Unlike today's endless digital photos, each Polaroid was unique, a one-of-a-kind snapshot that couldn't be duplicated. The square, white-bordered prints were often stored in photo albums, displayed on refrigerators, or exchanged as keepsakes. Back then, there were no filters or edits. It was just the raw photo, which feels light years from today. Playing jacks was a test of skill and coordination, a game that required nothing more than a small rubber ball and a handful of metal pieces. You'd toss the ball into the air, scoop up the jacks, and try to catch the ball again in a fluid motion. It was a simple game, but one that could keep you entertained for hours, often leading to friendly competition on the playground or in the living room. In today's digital age, where games are played on screens, the straightforward fun of jacks feels like an echo of a time gone by. The slide rule was once a trusted tool for a high schooler sitting in math class. Before calculators, this instrument was used to perform both simple and complex mathematical calculations, its sliding scales and precise markings a testament to human ingenuity. These devices were used up until the 1970s, when scientific calculators replaced them. In today's world, where digital calculators and computers do all the heavy lifting, the slide rule stands as a symbol of a time when math was as much about understanding as it was about the numbers themselves. The Rolodex was more than just an address book. It was a snapshot of your professional and personal networks, a spinning carousel of business cards and contact details. Each card represented a connection, a relationship that was built over time. Flipping through the Rolodex that sat on your desk, you'd find the names and numbers of those you met through meetings, business calls, or collaborations. The physicality of a Rolodex, its heft, its spinning motion, and the sheer act of searching manually for that one number is something that the generations of today will never understand. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and make sure to check the description of this video for links to pick up a t-shirt and sign up for the newsletter. Thank you to our loyal Patreon supporters listed here. Visit patreon.com/recollectionroad to join the club. As always, thank you so much for watching.